It's a pleasure having you again, my friends. Here we're going to be looking at another worded problem. It states a manufacturer of bird cut spacers from a tube that is 2 and 2/3 inches long, and here I have that in bracket how you read this number. Now they're asking how many spacers can be cut if each tube must be 2/3 inch thick, and they're asking us for an estimated answer. However, before I go into the raw calculations, the mathematical calculations of this question, I'm going to draw up a diagram because I think it may explain the question to you a bit clearer, and then we do the calculations. Alright, so let's just quickly pull up a diagram. Okay, my friends, here we have a diagram. Now let's show you the relationship with the diagram to the question, what is being asked from the question. They have stated that a manufacturer of bird cut spacers from a tube that is 2 and 2/3 inches long. Alright, so let's establish that. Let me just change my color. What they're saying here, guys, is that the manufacturer has a tube long 2 and 2/3. So here this would be one tube. If you notice, I'm shading in. If you notice, my total lengths, they are divided into 3 parts, into thirds, hence my 2/3. All right, so that would be one part. I've shaded, that's 2. Okay, this would be another part, so this would be 3. That's the third part. Okay, so what I just did here, guys, I have shaded 3 parts. I have shaded an entire tube. Okay, so I've shaded one full tube in thirds. It states that I have 2 tubes here. Okay, 2 full tubes. So again, I'm going to have to do the same thing for this tube. Alright, so I'm going to shade that tube, then I'm going to shade that one there. Okay, then I'm going to shade this tube here. Okay, now I've shaded, what is happening here, guys, I've shaded 2 full tubes, hence my 2 here. Let me just circle it in another color here. This 2 here, I have what this 2 means is that I have 2 full tubes. So if you notice, I have shaded 2 full lengths. Okay, now what I'll have to shade 2 parts out of 3 in the third tube. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just simply going to shade only 2 parts of the third tube. Okay, so basically this is what they are saying here. All right, they're saying that a manufacturer now has to cut spacers from a tube that is 2 and 2/3 inches long. Now just imagine that all of these 3 tubes are lined up in a line horizontally. All right, this would be the total length as a picture. As I've said, I just want you to have a picture in your head of what you're dealing with. Alright, so this is the total length we're dealing with. This full tube up here, that second one, plus 2 out of 3 parts of the third tube. Now let's look at what is happening. That's the established length we're working with. Now they're asking us how many spacers can be cut if each tube must be 2/3 inches thick. Now he's cutting tubes that are 2/3 inches thick. So obviously here now, my friends, out of the total that we have here, we're going to be shading 2 parts out of each because it says 2/3, and we have already divided our holes into 3 parts. This 3 here, that's the total length we have divided our hole all our holes in. So we're going to be shading 2 parts out of every 3 parts. Now let me just change my color quickly. Let me just change my color quickly, and let's start shading. So this is obviously, remember, we have to shade 2 out of 3 parts, so this would be 1, that's 2 parts. Okay, that's 2. So we have shaded 2/3 out of the first one. Now let's shade another 2/3 out of the second. All right, so we have shaded 1, okay, and we have shaded 2. So we have shaded 2/3 out of the second also, and then again now let's shade another 2/3. Let's see if we can get another 2/3 out of this. Well, I guess that's obvious because we have a 2/3 here. All right, so let's shade in that 2/3 that we have there. Now, my friends, pretty much, if you should look carefully, all right, if you should look carefully, we have shaded one set of 2/3 here. Let me just change the color quickly. We have shaded one set of two-thirds there. We have shaded another set of two-thirds, and we have shaded another set of two-thirds. So when you look at it at face value, you would realize that we have three sets of two-thirds that we have shaded. However, if you should look on what's left over, we can get another whole out of this, because this is one part, and let me just write it in for you. This is one part. If you notice, that's one part. This is another part there, and that's another part. So what's left over that we hadn't shaded in red, we have three parts, and if you notice, in one whole it consists of three parts. So obviously we have another whole left over. So let me just pull up another diagram just to represent what is the leftovers. Okay, guys, so let's just pull up our leftover here. Just give me a sec. Alright, here is my leftover, and remember now that these three parts, 1, 2, 3, represents the parts that wasn't shaded in red. Okay, and if you notice, I have 1, 2, 3, and there they are, 1, 2, 3. Now ask yourselves now, how many two-thirds can I get out of the whole that we have left over? And obviously you can see that we can get another set of two-thirds. So this would be one set of one third, and this is the second. So that's another set of two-thirds. Okay, so in total we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of two-thirds out of the total 2 and 2/3 inches if each whole will be divided into two-thirds. Okay, so obviously our estimated answer would be a total of 4. Okay, that would be our answer. However, let's look at the calculations. It's simple. It's simply this, my friends. This is what we're doing. Since we have looked at the diagram, hopefully that was helpful. Now let's look at the calculation as how you would be required to work it out in the exam, because you're not allowed to draw diagrams in the exam, but I just did this for intuition. All right, now basically what you have 2 and 2 upon 3. Okay, and you want to know how many sets of two-thirds you can get out of 2 and 2/3. So basically you are dividing by 2 upon 3. Okay, that's the whole idea behind it. So basically let's convert our mixed numbers to improper fractions. 3 2s, that will give me a 6, and 6 plus the 2 in my numerator, that would give me an 8 upon 3. Okay, hopefully you saw that. 3 in my denominator times the whole number 2 here, that's 6. 3 2 6 plus 2 in my numerator will give me an 8 upon 3, and that is being divided by 2/3. Okay, now basically quickly let's get this out. I have a 8 upon 3, and that is being divided, and we know that when we're dividing fractions we can just change the sign to multiplication, flip the fraction at the back. Okay, so here we can just go ahead and cancel out. 3 into itself goes once, 3 into itself goes once, 2 into 2 goes once, and 2 into 8 goes 4 times. Okay, so in the top we have 4 times 1, which is 4, and that's our answer. Okay, that's our estimated answer. And if you notice, based on the diagram, what we got 4 sets of two-thirds out of each whole. Alright, hope that was useful. Feel free to leave a comment or a question if you're not sure, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Bye bye.